Good afternoon. I'd like to talk briefly about some of the biological aspects of coral and the importance that they play in tropical ecosystems. And so maybe we can start with some of the requirements for coral life. Coral will thrive when water clarity is good, when nutrients are low, when water temperature is within a fairly narrow range. Not too cold, not too warm, but just right. And kind of like the three bears, coral has a difficult time in conditions that aren't proper for it. So a few of those, including the nutrient levels, we can talk about why water clarity is so important. When nutrients increase in water, the transparency of it decreases because more plankton are supported by those nutrients. Coral requires clear water because they have a partnership with an algae. It's a specific algae called zooxanthellae, and those corals incorporate these algae in their tissue, and the algae can provide as much as 90% of the nutrients of the carbohydrates and glucose that the corals require. So although they're animals and will consume organisms, microorganisms around the reef, in fact, most of the energy is actually provided by these algae. And it's the algae that it turns out to be super sensitive to changes. Being photosynthetic, they have to have good light quality, but it appears that temperature is a big condition that inhibits their growth. And when it gets too hot, even by partial degrees Celsius, they bail out. They are excluded from the coral tissue, and the coral's color actually comes mostly from those algae, and so they turn white, which is called coral bleaching. And that's a big concern. We have fairly good evidence that changes in temperature are somewhat driven by our activity, and global climate change could cause some real drastic changes in coral reef ecosystems around the world. The second condition that we can talk about in terms of Australian waters, particularly the Great Barrier Reef, has the largest collection of coral in the world, and a nemesis of the reef are crown of thorns starfish, and it's been fairly well linked to broad devastation of the Great Barrier Reef and to nutrient loads in the water. The latest evidence suggests that fertilizer runoff from sugarcane operations along the coast with the Great Barrier Reef have increased nutrients in the water, decreased clarity. That's hard on coral, but the conditions are perfect for the larvae of these crown of thorns. When nutrient levels increase, the larval crown of thorn starfish can survive longer, better, stronger, more recruitment, a larger adult population, and that leads to big problems. Why are we interested in and concerned about protecting coral reefs? Well, they are the most diverse systems in the world that we know and understand. We're often told that rainforests are the cradle of diversity for our planet, but it's been shown that coral reefs contain a good deal more diversity than even the most diverse rainforests. And as a biologist, diversity is where it's at for me. And so that's why I have concerns for corals and why I think we need to protect them.